I'm Bobby, and this is Abby, and we are hosts of the Filling You Up with Hope podcast and Filling You Up with Hope YouTube. And welcome.
Yes, welcome. Yes, we have been going through Proverbs every week on Wednesday, and we're on 7 already.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It is.
And they're a little redundant, but this one I think is good.
Yes, I think it's good too. And I think that you can take more meaning behind it than, because it's talking about adultery. Like, what's the subtitle on yours for 7? What is it called?
Warning against the adulterous woman.
Yeah.
Right. But you had a good point where you said any like notes or videos you had seen, they focused on mostly just adultery, but you and I both got more out of that, right?
Yeah. Yes. We're all adulterous. Like Proverbs, it talks a lot about the mysterious woman.
Right.
And I feel like that's not a mysterious woman to all of us. The mysterious woman could be anything that's getting in the way of your relationship with God. It could be shopping. It could be sports. Like in the fall, every Sunday, after church, we watch the Colts. We're big Colts fans. And it's like, we have to make sure that isn't getting in the way of our relationship with God.
Yeah.
Like it can be so many things and tempting things.
Temptations. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Temptations.
Yeah.
Temptations. Because it does, it says, it's actually like, it's a really beautiful poem kind of about temptation.
Yeah.
And it says, she took hold of him, this is 13, she took hold of him and kissed his face with a brazen face, she said. And then she went on to say, like, how she tempted him into going home with him. But that's just anybody, right? Like, I had this vision, I don't know, 2 weeks ago now, of like a steep mountain.
Yeah.
And I was like trying hard to grasp Jesus' hand. He was like hanging off the top of the mountain, like reaching for me. And I was trying hard to get there, but I was looking back, and at the bottom of the mountain was like diamonds, a big house, all this stuff that's temptation. And like, this is kind of that. And I struggle. I mean, that's not a secret. I've been very open about that. I struggle with temptations and wanting like the Range Rover.
Well, it's what we're surrounded by, and it reminds me of Lot's wife, what you're talking about, like looking back instead of like looking ahead at God. But we all do it. I feel like it's not just people who've cheated.
Agreed.
Mine says avoid loose women. Is the title of mine.
Avoid loose women as well.
Yes, but like avoid things that are getting in the way of your relationship with God. Like things that are tempting you.
Right. Yeah. For example, Abby and I went to a trade show for my work in Lake Champlain, and she got to witness a lot of like the culture of like of a trade show lifestyle. And at one of like the like after events or whatever, I had a gentleman who I've known for years, but it's not who I am. But he came up to me and he said, like, I was wearing a dress, and he said, make sure you leave some time for me tonight. And you know what that means, and so it says, do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. Essentially, like, don't put yourself into that position to be tempted or to make bad choices. I mean, it's easy to be, like, you look at this handsome man, I want a husband. It would have been easy for me to be like, yes, but I know because of my experiences with Alex and having Alex, I know that his proposition would have left me more empty.
Yes. Oh, that's huge. That's so huge.
Yeah.
Like the tempting things, that's what they leave us feeling more empty.
Right.
And God is the thing that fills us up.
Right.
Yeah. But it's hard when you're around people who are on a different path than what like in Proverbs, it's all about the path. That's what we
Right.
And it's like we want to be on that path to God, and it's hard when we're surrounded by people who are not making those choices, but you're also being a light to them, and you're sharing Jesus to them.
Right.
And so, which is an amazing thing, but it's also like, be aware, my son, like, you know, like what you're saying, that there's all these temptations around.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, you know, you need to surround yourself with people that will guide you in God's ways.
Yeah.
You know, like yourself. Like, not that Abby being there would have changed my decision, but Abby being there was like the third string in the rope. Like me, Abby, and God. Sorry, Chris. No, I'm just kidding. Chris is her husband. But, no, but I mean, you know, like her being there made it like, not, like I said, not that I would have done it anyway. I wouldn't have never made that choice.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I still had an accountability partner.
Ooh. Yeah.
And this next trade show, one of our friend's daughters coming, and she's on fire for Jesus too. So you know, I've never done this in the past, brought people with me to watch Alex.
Yeah.
That would have been a correct hand to
Yes.
hold, essentially, you know.
Yes. Like, I'm like a grandma. Like, you know, I'll have the ginger ale, please.
I know. I still had the
I am
cocktail,
like a grandma.
but she had the ginger ale.
Yes. My sister calls me a grandma. Like, I listen to Christian music and, you know. But you can have fun when you're a grandma.
Yeah. Well, and I love Christian music too. And I don't
Yes.
really drink very often. But yeah, there is that temptation when
Yes.
somebody else
Yes.
is buying and dinner is provided and it's music and all this stuff, and they're just like walking around with alcohol. There is that temptation to just indulge.
And then sometimes that takes our guard down and makes it easier to go on the other path. You know, that, yeah.
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 And it says somewhere, like, you drunkard, don't be lazy, you know? And it doesn't necessarily mean drunkard, but drunkard,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But that's why it's so important to keep wisdom on your heart and have godly friends, right?
Yeah,
because learn from somebody else's mistakes.
Yes. I was just gonna say that, like the beginning part. My son, which is repeated, right, in a whole bunch of the chapters.
Right.
But my son, keep my words, store my commands within you. My commands, keep my commands and live.
Right.
And like, that's how to avoid the temptations of this world.
Right.
You know, and it's also ironic because this is David, who has a thing for women. So it's just
David did have a huge thing for women, right? Like, that was his vice for sure.
so
But
so
he
it's-
learned that it wasn't worth it. Like, he learned through Bathsheba that it completely wasn't worth it.
Yes. And he, through it all, like, he had a heart for God.
Right.
Like, through his mistakes, like, everything.
Right.
And that's what we can learn from him, like, really having a heart for God.
And then learning, that's why testaments are so important in our Christian faith, because it's to show people, like, where you went wrong. Like, I tell people everywhere, or all the time, like, what I did, and I'm learning from my mistakes, and hopefully that transpires, right?
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Like, that can help when we're tempted. If someone shares, like, what they've been through, that can be the thing that leads us back to God.
Right.
Yeah,
but it also
that's so
gives
good.
so much hope.
Yes.
You know, somebody's story gives so much hope, because, and it's not even to be jealous of. Like, Abby's story to finally have a baby should give the person that's been wanting a baby so much hope, because God did that for her. God can do that for you too.
Yes. It's so amazing. Like, my client I saw this morning, she's a Christian, and she just has having a rough time, and and she had all of these bank problems, right? So she had to be on the phone with the bank. We all hate that, right? For hours. But she shared her testimony with, I'm like, maybe you went through all of that bank stuff because you were meant to share, like, your testimony with that person at the bank.
Right. Well, God provides that. God provides ways.
Yeah.
Just like me meeting you.
Yeah. Yes.
God gave
So
me
thank
you, Abby.
Yeah. And me too. I'm so thankful. And at the end on 22, he goes headlong after her, like an ox to the slaughter, like a deer leaping into a trap, until an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird hurrying to the snare, not aware that it will cost him his life.
Right.
There's consequences for all of our actions.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, and you're not aware in it, right? Because
Yes.
you're so self-focused, and your vision has stopped coming from God's vision, right? And it's now come like this, and all you can see is the temptation and having that and taking that.
And he doesn't even think. He just goes headlong into it without thinking.
Yeah. But bring Abby along. She'll stop you. Just kidding. Like I said, I wasn't going to do it. I just am using this as an example.
No, it's true. Like surrounding yourself with godly people like helps so much, because we're supposed to be around all sorts of different people, right? That's how, like, you being around like those people, like we said, you're showing them Jesus and what Jesus has done for you, and they need to see that.
And Jesus was around those people to guide them in the right direction. But he definitely didn't bring them into his inner circle.
Oh, that's very true. And he came to help the sick people. Like, we need to remember that. But we do need the healthy people on that path. We do need those people around us to help us and to encourage us. Like, we need that for our faith. But we need to help all people.
Because we will fail.
Yes. Oh my gosh, all the time. All the time. But we're just so excited, and we hope that that you're getting a lot out of Proverbs too. And
comment below if you're following us. And like, subscribe. I was told that, I forgot to tell you this, somebody said, are you saying like and subscribe and like push the notification bell on after your thing? And I was like, no, no. But so like and subscribe and push the notification bell and comment.
And you can find us all over the place. Like, Bobby's been doing an amazing blog on Blogger, I think it is.
I'm obsessed with it. I love writing. After, like, I'm a little far behind because I was trying to keep up with like these, but it just has been
a lot. And you have a 3-year-old, like that in itself is
But I love this. I want to do this all the time, full time.
Well, we're just praying for you and hope that you just feel hope. There's so much hope when we're on that path and we can make that choice. So,
and we're grateful.
Yes.
And thank you. And we'll see you on Saturday.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.